All right. Hello, everyone. We're going to start on our next module for math, which is Module 4 or Mission 4 on Zearn. So, if you are where I am right now in math, congratulations. You are almost completely finished with your 4th grade math. That is quite an accomplishment. And I am really, really proud of you guys for keeping up with me and for doing all this hard work on the Google Classroom and on Zearn. It is a lot of work. And you guys that are, if you're caught up, you are having to do a lot of work every day. So thank you for doing that. And the person that's going to benefit the most is you, because when you go into 5th grade, you are going to have a good foundation of all your 4th grade math. So good job. All right. As I said, we're going to do Mission 4 next. Then we'll do Mission 7, because that kind of wraps up and finishes everything with we've done in 4th grade. So if you've already been working on Mission 7, you're going through that, that's fine, but just pause where you are there. When you go to Zearn, click on My Stuff and go to Mission 4 and Lesson 1 starting today. All right, so this lesson objective is identify and draw points, lines, line segments, rays, and angles. Recognize them in various contexts and familiar figures. So let's first of all talk about what those things are. And to do that, you're going to need a paper and a pencil, or you can print out the lesson and follow along with me on the lesson. All right, so if I'm going to draw a point, I can just put points on a paper anywhere, right? And we could keep going and do that forever, infinitely. I would have a bunch of X's all over. But in math, we always want to make sure that we're being very precise. So in math, we're not just going to draw X's, we're going to make sure that we label our point. So you're just going to take your pencil and draw one little circle, and we're going to label it. The reason we're going to label it is because in math, if we have a precise location, it needs to have a precise name for that location. So we're going to name that one A. Now I'm going to come over here and do another one, and it's going to be called B. Now I'm making my circles big, so I want to make sure you guys can see them like if I was on the whiteboard, but you could literally do them like about as big as a pencil. So they don't need to be very big. They should not be massive big dots. All right, so I have my point A and my point B. Now if I'm going to connect them, I'm going to use something straight to draw. If I was doing this on the whiteboard, I'd use a yardstick, but I don't have one here at home. So I just kind of eyeballed it. And now we have a line that starts here at A and ends at B. And so it is called a line segment. What's it called, everyone? Yes, a line segment. Thank you. Thank you for following along. You know what? You guys are being such good listeners. Go move up. Yes, go move up. Good job. Everyone gets to move up right now for listening. Thank you. All right, so this starts at A and it ends at B. So I'm going to write that this line segment is AB, and I'm going to put a line above it, and that's how I would write it. So if I said, class, what is this line segment here? And you're writing your answer, you would put AB with a line above it, and that shows that it's line segment AB. Line segment AB starts at A and it ends at B. It does not go any further than that, and that's what makes it a line segment. A line segment always has the dots at the end, the points to show where it begins and show where it ends. All right, I'm going to draw another point now. Also I forgot to mention, we could also identify this as line segment BA, because it could start at B and could end at A. So it could go either way and it would be the same thing. All right, now let's draw another point on our paper. Right here, we're going to label this C because we're going in the order of the alphabet. Yep. So I'm going to draw point C right there. We want to make sure that point C is not located on anywhere between point A and B. It needs to be separate. And now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to draw a straight line to point C, but we're going to do point C a little bit different. It's going to go a little longer than the segment, and it's going to go past segment C. So here I have line segment AC, or I could also call it CA. And then this line and it should just be one straight line. It's going to continue after the C, which means we have line segment AC or CA, and then we know that C continues on. Since C continues on, it is not just a line segment anymore. From A to C, it is a segment. From C on, that is something else because it starts with a point and an exact location, and it ends, well, it doesn't end because it has an arrow. The arrow tells us it continues on. So C is a ray. A ray starts at an exact location, it goes out with an arrow, and it does not end. So it continues on in one direction, and that's what a ray is. All right, we're going to draw another point. All right, now I'm ready to draw another location. So I'm going to put another point over here, and I'm going to label this one D, since it is my fourth one that I've done, and D is the fourth letter. Now I'm going to draw another line. It's going to start before the B, and it's going to go after the D, and it's going to have an arrow on both ends. So this is not a line segment, and it's not a ray because it has two arrows on both ends. So what is it? Do you know what it is? If it has no beginning and no end, and it has an arrow on both ends? All right, well, it's just called a line. Actually, hold. Okay, I figured out where I got confused. Sorry about that. The reason I got confused is because I didn't label what my ray was. So it's not just a ray with C. It starts over here with A, and it goes through C, and then it continues on. So this ray is AC. And so to write that, if I was writing that on my assignment, I would put AC and kind of a half arrow like that. All right. So now I have line BD, which has no beginning and no end because it has an arrow on each side, and that is just called a line. And a line, it's just like if you were doing a number line. You always put two arrows at the end. So this line is BD, and I'm going to put an arrow on the top and an arrow on the bottom when I write that on my paper. All right, now we're going to draw one more. I'm going to put a point E right here and draw from D to E. I'm going to make this a ray. So this ray would be DE. And I'm going to put kind of a half arrow on top of it to show, oh, you know what, you guys can't see, hold on. There we go. All right, now what we did there is we made a bunch of lines, line segments, rays. We also made a bunch of angles, and we're going to now label our angles. So this here is an angle. Just like if this was the wall, and if this was a wall, this is a door. This is where the door pivots. If I open my door this much, that is my angle right there. So whenever lines connect at points, they create angles. So this angle is going to include the same letters that are in the lines and the line segments. So this would be angle B, D, and E. And that's all we have to do is locate that. So the symbol to write angle is, we're going to just draw like a little angle, and then I'm going to write the letters. So angle B, D, E. All right, let's see if we can locate angle B, A, C. Notice how my middle letter, that tells me where the pivot or the vertice of the angle is. So BAC would be B, AC. So that is this angle right here. All right, where is angle ABD? Yep, that would be right here. Angle ABD is right there. Do you see any more angles? No. This technically is not really an angle because I don't have a point over here. All right, so everyone, that concludes the first part of our lesson. I'm gonna pause it while I get my practice set. All right, before we were just putting a bunch of points and lines and angles on a page. Now here is something that is a familiar object. What is it, everyone? That's right, it's a kite. Let's see if we can find any of the things that we just talked about in this kite. And if you don't have one, you can draw this on a paper right now and follow along with me. All right, first of all, are there any points that would be on this? Yes, there are. A would be a point, B, C, D, and E, those would all be points. We found those. All right, what else do we have? Do we have any line segments? Yes, everywhere that we have a point, we're going to have line segments in between them. So that would be line AB. This would be line BC, line CE, DE, AE, AD, AC, ADC as well. All right, do we have any lines? Well, we don't, but let's make some. How about we turn line A and B, line segment A and B, into line A and B. We'll just add some arrows on the end so it shows that those lines continue on. Let's change this one to a line rather than a line segment. Now we have two line segments, AC and AB. All right, do we have any rays? No, let's make a ray. How about D is a ray going here past E. Now we do have a ray. It starts at D and it goes past E. All right, do we have any angles? Yes, lots of angles. There's one there. That would be angle EAD. Angle, how about DBC right there? Angle DCE right there. Lots of angles all over. And angles here too. All of these are angles as well. All right, so we can find these in familiar things too, not just random things drawn, you know, on a paper. All right, let's move on to the lesson practice. All right, our problem set. All right, use the following directions to draw a figure in the box to the right. Draw 2 points, A and B. Oh, that's no problem, we can do that. A point means it's going to start with a dot and it's going to end with a dot, right? All right. Draw 2 points, A and B. Does it tell us where to put them? Nope, so we can just choose where we want to put them. There's our points A and B. All right, use a straight edge to draw AB, and it's telling us exactly what to draw. What is that? Yep, that is a ray. So a ray, remember, starts at a point and then it goes on forever. And the arrow shows us that it goes on forever. So we're going to label, or we're going to change A and B to a ray. And when they say straight edge, they're just talking about a ruler or something that is straight to help you draw a straight line. All right, C, draw a new point that is not A and B. So it needs to be somewhere else. I'm going to put it right there, and I'm going to call it C. All right, now it says D, draw AC. What do we need to draw with AC? What is that? It has a straight line above it. So that's a line segment. So we're just going to go from A to C, and that's it. Nothing else, no arrows. E, draw a point not on A, B, or AC. Call it D. And we can put it anywhere. But it does tell us we're going to have it called line CD. So we do need to consider that. But it really doesn't matter where it goes. I'm just going to put it right here, and it's going to be D. All right, then F says construct CD. So it needs to have an arrow at the end or an arrow at the beginning, a line. So a line has 2 arrows. And use the points you've already labeled to name one angle. Let's find one angle. Oh, we're almost out of time.